Hey there, everybody. This is Mark Crilley. Just doing a quick kind of update video here. As you all know, there has been just an absolutely horrific disaster in Japan. What many of you may not be aware of is the degree to which my life is interlinked with Japan. And I wanted to show you this sketchbook that I made years ago when I lived in the north of Japan. Really precisely in the area almost where this earthquake hit. And this drawing here that I kind of colored in with watercolors was done in the town of Miyako, which is on the coast of Iwate Prefecture, and was definitely hit pretty hard by the tsunami of about a week ago. Now, I did not live in Miyako. I lived in a town called Morioka, which was some distance away by car. I think at least a few hours to get there. But I was in Miyako a number of times, briefly, and this sketch right here was actually done on the beach. And I don't know, I'm going to sort of zoom in here. It was a students' sailing club. Just did a quick sketch of these students preparing a sailboat. And so, I mean, you can imagine my kind of horror and sadness when I realized that in the very spot where I had been sitting doing this sketch was where among many other cities, but was where where the tsunami hit, and I don't have any exact information on what happened in Miyako or the death toll. I sincerely hope that people there were much luckier than they were in some of the more harder hit areas. But I just kind of wanted to let you all know about my connection to Japan, and to reassure you all that thankfully my wife, who is Japanese, and her family, that they're all okay. Her family in Japan, they live very, very far from the area that was hit. Japan was hit in the northeast. My wife's family lives in the southwest, so we personally are very lucky in that way. But of course, it is so hard. It's hard any time to see a tragedy take place, but for me, this is definitely maybe the first time that I've been personally connected to the people in a place that has been so hard hit. This is a photo of Morioka, where I lived. There was Mount Iwate was the name of the local mountain. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. And I know that they were hit really hard with the earthquake. I don't know if buildings came down. I've been in touch with people. Fortunately, the people that I know in Morioka are all okay, and they lost power. But I think certainly compared to the tragedies on the coast, Morioka was spared. I thought you might enjoy seeing, just sort of joining me in taking a little trip down memory lane. When I was in Japan, I taught English in Japan, and if any of you ever have the chance to do that, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. This is a nice kind of photo that shows me with a family that I spent a day out. Look at that, 1992, it says down there in the corner. We were in a museum. This is not like a private home or anything, but I taught kids, and so you can see these two kids here. At least one of them was one of my students and her mother, and we're all just sort of laughing. Look how young I was. 20 years, yeah, almost 20 years ago. This real quickly is some of my fellow teachers. Here we are doing what we did oh so often, hanging out, having dinner together. This Denise here is a teacher down in Texas. We stay in touch. Brad, I've kind of lost touch with Brad. I don't know what has become of him. But look at me. Last time I wore a necktie on a regular basis. This may, some of you people are always like, hey, what do you look like? You always see my hand and you never actually see me. Here's your chance, and you can see us with beers in front of us. This was at, I don't know that guy. I think he may have been just a fellow patron, but this is they're making the okonomiyaki, where they, it's sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's something they prepare right in front of you on the big frying surface and then put onto your plate. If you ever get a chance to have okonomiyaki, you got to have it. This is another one of these families where I was the teacher of their kids. I taught all ages, but I think my favorite was always the kids' classes. There was, it was more like just having fun than just standing in front of a classroom. And there we are at one of these low tables. It must have been somebody's birthday. It might even have been mine. I can't quite remember. But just the people of Japan are such wonderful people, and they welcomed me into their homes, and my life has just become so intertwined with Japan. This is a photo of the famous sakura, the cherry blossoms. This is not a postcard. This is just me pointing my camera up into the air and taking a shot. This is a student of mine. At the time she was in high school, she is now grown up and married to a Chinese man, as it turned out, living in Tokyo. And so I was in touch with her, and she's fine. But one of her messages was about having to walk home from work on the night, of the earthquake and the tsunami, that there was loss of power, or they had to shut down all the train lines in Tokyo. She had to walk all the way home. But fortunately, again, very fortunate for her that she was okay. And her family back in Morioka, all of them fine as well. I'll show one last photo here just to give you a little taste of my life in Japan from years ago. There was this big show. I was teaching English with a small school, and we'd put on this big show called The Living Dictionary. And I have memories of me. I did this sign. Here I was in my 20s. This was my big contribution to do this sign. I remember painting it on the floor of this big room, putting hours and hours into this big sign. And it was some kind of a show we did, and you can see me standing there. And there's Brad again, who I've kind of lost touch with. But anyway, really wonderful times there in Japan, and I just wanted to reassure you all, anyone who knew about my connection to Japan, reassure you that my wife's family is fine. And I want to encourage all of you, if you have the impulse to contribute to the Japanese Red Cross. I think I'm going to try to put a link beneath this video. You can contribute, of course, just to the International Red Cross. I decided, in my case, to go straight to the Japanese Red Cross, and it involves donating in yen. So you have to kind of calculate and figure out what the exchange rate is for the yen. But that's not that hard to find these days with the internet. But anyway, as you know, it's a very hard time for anyone who loves Japan and who loves the Japanese people. Just a time of unimaginable crisis, but they will pull through this, and with our help, they're going to see brighter days ahead in Japan. Just quickly, as I wrap up this video, I want to say that this may possibly be the last low-resolution video that I make. I am planning to buy a high-resolution video camera and start finally doing that. People have been asking me for years, Mark, can you finally get high-resolution videos going? I'm going to try to do that, invest in that, and in the month of April, I am really going to try to start getting more videos done. It's been quite a long time since my last video. I'm working on the final pages of my How to Draw Manga book, finishing that up, and I'm going to have a little bit of time in here in the month of April, maybe May as well, to just really create a bunch of videos and hopefully sort of make up for lost time with all the lack of videos that I've had in the last couple of months. So thanks for your patience, everyone. Thanks for your support. I do hope that you will consider donating money to either the Japanese Red Cross or to any foundation that's going to be helping people over there. And again, thanks for all your support over the years, and for anyone who is concerned about my wife's family. I'm very happy to be able to tell you that they are fine. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up and promise you this time, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, that I can be back with another video real soon.